Okay, so something a little different. Well, it's still going to be a scrap out video, but what I have for this one is something that every working person in the world will probably recognise as a clocking in machine. So the bane of every working man or woman's life is one of them clocking in machines. Many a time you've rushed to make sure you get in just before the time runs out in the mornings when you're running late. So I'm looking forward to scrapping this out, because many a time I wanted to put a hammer through them, but this time I can take it apart. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, guys, please make sure you do. I'm just taking out these last few screws. I've already taken out as many screws as I could see in advance, just to speed things up. So they're just actually holding legs, they're doing nothing else. They're just holding the legs on. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the insulated wire. So again, we have some copper and we'll have some brass in here. So I'll put that, I do take these off, and I do put them separately for the brass so they can be cut out later and get the brass out of them. So that's that. Now I'll have a look and see. Unfortunately I don't have the key to open it, so we can try and take it apart as best I can. I've taken as many screws as I could possibly see, but I'm sure there's going to be a hidden screw somewhere. There always seems to be, but maybe not. So we'll just try and pry it open if we can. So I'm sure there's lots of you out there at work that would love to smash the one they have at work at the moment. So it's good that I get to do that. So that key is going to cause me a bit of trouble. I want to try and pry it apart without that key. Doesn't want to go too easy. I might get a chisel, which would be a bit. So we'll just get a chisel in behind it. I could just belt it with a hammer, a bit like Ian Matthews would, but that'd be just too easy, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do is, probably is going to belt it with a hammer, but I'm not going to do it on screen because it'll go everywhere. I'm going to give it try and break it here so that I break that lock and let me into it. So I'll just pause it there while I try that, and hopefully when I come back we'll have that broken off. So I might hit it with a hammer, or I might just pry it out, but rather than you having to watch all through it, I'll just pause it there. Okay, I didn't even need to do that. As soon as I picked it up, it came apart. So that just made it a little bit easier. So we'll just have a look underneath here. Nothing, just telling you the controls, where your controls are. That's all that's under there. So that was your lock. Bit of plastic, nothing else to it. So we'll have a look here. So we have a board. So we'll see if there's anything worth taking out of the board. Is there anything for gold recovery? Probably not by the look of the board. It seems to be a fairly low grade board, but we'll take it apart and have a look. So guys, thanks for checking out my videos. I really appreciate it. I know it's hard to keep up with everyone's videos, and it's hard to follow stuff and it's hard to leave comments. But the one thing I can say is that I really do appreciate it, because I do know how hard it is to try and catch up with everyone's videos, try and keep track of what's happening on YouTube. A lot of people have a lot of stuff going on in their lives, and it's not always easy to check out people's videos. So anyone that's been checking out my videos, any new subscribers, I really do appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I do try and make as many of, if you have channels and you've subscribed to me, I do try and check out your stuff. Sometimes I don't comment, sometimes I might be a couple of weeks before I get to check everyone's out. Mightn't get the video straight away, but I try my best. So I also appreciate anyone that checks out mine. So as I thought, this board has nothing of value on it whatsoever. So you can see there, it's got an LCD screen. Some people I've been looking online are keeping the LCD screens for precious metals inside of that they reckon will become valuable over time. So again, you can keep that, or you can just dispose of it. So then we have the main workings of this. So first off, we have a ribbon which doesn't have any gold on it. We have a little power board which should contain, as I say, a bit of copper. Probably that's about it really on that power board. We have another little board over here which runs a motor. So again, we'll have a little bit of copper in that motor. And that's kind of it there that I can see. So what I'm going to have to do is take out these screws. So again, I'm going to just pause it there. There's a lot of screws here, so rather than you having to see me just removing screws out of it, I'm just going to pause it, and when we come back I should have it taken apart and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've removed as much as the screws I can possibly see. I'm sure there's a ton more in there, but we'll see what we get underneath here. So underneath here we have a little transformer with a power board connected to it, as I was saying already. A little bit of copper in here, a fuse, and that's about it that I can see. Maybe someone else might see something more valuable, but I don't. So again, I just remove that, take them screws off from here. That'll let my transformer off. Put that in with your transformers, or break it apart to get more copper from it. Let's see where we go from there. Okay, we've got the front cover off it, so again just plastic, and now we've got a nice little board here which I like to see. A few IC chips in it. Let me have a look at this ribbon wire, if I can get it out. I'll get a right look at it. Okay, so, and again, there's no gold foils on that, unfortunately, so again, not of any value to me. We've already seen that ribbon wire there, so that it didn't have anything on it either. So we'll put it aside, and we'll have a look at this board. So again, we'll just disconnect some of the wires that are connected to it to give us a better look at it. And it's fixed. Get another ribbon and another ribbon. So we have a look here. So this is a little control which the buttons were, so hopefully there'll be a little bit of silver under that. Just see what's the easiest way of getting this off. So we'll just try putting the chisel in under there first. No, we'll just have to remove the clips. So we'll just get something to break off the clips. Actually, where we're at, we'll just take out these ribbon wires. Again, nothing on the ribbon wires, absolutely no value. And we just need to get a little screwdriver, a flathead. And we'll try and get in underneath the plastic. There we go. To allow us to take that board apart. So again, we have some switches in there which will have little silver contacts. So that'll be put in for my silver recovery. Again, nothing else on that board of any value, only them little contacts, so we'll take them off. We'll try and just snip these off. They're just the plastic which are holding on the actual board. Move it on this side. So once we've them removed, it should let the board out like that. So again, we can just pry that apart. We need to remove these other ones this side. So I'll just pause that while I remove them, and then we'll come back once they're removed and we'll have a look at this board and see if there's much value on it. Okay, so we've removed them little silver tabs, and I just want to disconnect the rest of the wires. So we have some sort of switch here holding them in. Don't know how that switch works actually. Does it move forward, or it does just press it forward to release the little cables. Okay, we'll have a look at this. So we have a little battery there which I'll remove. They can contain silver. If you want to connect them up with it, I don't bother with them because I don't like messing with batteries. We have a little IC chip. They could be silver. Little contact there where there was a contact with the board, so that could be silver. That's about it. Another IC chip here. On the back end, nothing really either. So again, not the best. Little MOSFET there, but I wasn't expecting much from it, but I was expecting a bit more than that from that board. So we'll look at the rest of it. So again, we have another little board here, which we'll just remove for the sake of removing it. Probably not because there's screws in it, so maybe holding something else on. So there's a lot of screws, a lot of steel in this. There'll be a few motors, nothing else major, I presume. But the satisfaction of actually breaking one of these apart makes it worthwhile. So again, nothing on that board of any value to me. Again, just the wire, insulated wire, that's it. Just take that and put it in with insulated wire. I'm just going to remove these screws here, so we'll pause it while I remove them, save you having to look through all that again. Okay, we're down to the last few bits. So we have a motor on both sides which needs to be removed. So that's the first one. Okay, so we have a little motor which again will have some copper inside of it, so you can put that on with your copper motors or break it up to get the copper from it. Again, I don't bother breaking that up because of the size of it. It's not really worth it. Insulated copper wire. On the other side we'll have the same again. We'll have a little motor, so we'll just take off the thing so we'll see which way this one moves. Oh, missed a screw. Missed a screw. So again, just have a little copper motor on this side as well. So it just comes back here a bit and that lets it out. So again, copper motor, insulated wire, that's it. What are we left with? We left a big chunk of plastic here, which I don't know how it's going to come out. Seems to be part of this whole board, so we just have two screws left here. A lot of screws again in it. Tons of screws. That's why Ian Matthews has the right idea. Hit it with a hammer. Forget about the screws. Saves all this effort. But while I've come this far, I might as well just take the last few screws out. Get another one in under here. So let's see if we can pry that apart. If we can't. And this one is very well hidden, and it's going to be an awkward one. Okay, just a bit of plastic, so again, wasn't worth the effort. I don't know how I'm going to get this out, because as you can see it's on a bar, which, unless these clips break off, I don't want to move too well. There we go. That's one out. So again, a little bar, steel bar going across with rubber and a few cogs on it. Might come in useful for something else some stage. And we'll just have to try and see if we can get this last bar out. I can't, but there's a bit of aluminium down here. So we'll just have an aluminium head. So I'll smash that with a hammer in the next. I won't bother messing around with it anymore. There's no point, there's nothing to it, there's no value to it. Saying that, if the screw's on it, I'm going to take it off and we're going to have a look inside and see. You never know, there might be a big lump of gold hidden in there. Okay, so I've smashed it out and this is what's inside. So we have a little bit of that ribbon wire still attached to this, and inside of that, if you can see, which is very hard, is copper windings. So I'm going to put that aside with my copper. I'll eventually either smash them out and just take the little windings off, or I'll see will the scrapyard take it as a copper motor of some sort. So they may take it as copper motor. You can see just in there they all have copper on them, all them little windings. So I'm sure it's easy enough to smash them out, and we've aluminium on the outside of it. So that's what's inside the old clocking machines. The new ones now all work by fingerprints or retina scans, stuff like that. I'm sure there's more gold bearing material in them, but in this it's just an automatic time recorder. They were the old ones. Put your card in, clocked your card, and at the end of the week your cards were checked to see what times you clocked in at, stuff like that. Now they do them all by fingerprints, so you can't be getting your buddy to clock in for you anymore. So that's it, guys. What's in that is pretty poor, to be honest. It's nothing major. The board is pretty poor, just a bit of copper wire, a few little bit of aluminium, nothing else of value in these. So if you come across them, I'd be trying to keep it in one part and just sell it as is. The actual scrap value of it is very, very low. So again, the major part of value there would probably be this insulated wire, the bit of brass in there, the bit of aluminium, and these motors. They're probably the highest value items in there. The transformer, wherever I've put that down somewhere, but the transformer, there it is. The transformer again will be the biggest part of the value of it, the weight of it. It's a good bit of weight on that. I know it's still attached to this, but once the screws come out of that, she'll be the best value of it. So that's it, guys. I'm not going to bother taking that out. You've seen them before, all these transformers, no point doing anything with it. You can either smash it open and get the copper out from it, or just sell them as transformers as is to your scrapyard. So guys, thanks for watching. Till the next video, keep on looking for all this scrap metal stuff like that, and hopefully I'll have some good stuff coming from for the gold recovery side of things. It's just taking a bit longer to do them, and with the new supplier, well, not new supplier, but the new contact I've made in the work that does the security, the alarms and cameras and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully I have some nice boards, and I've also made a contact with a computer repair store. Well, it's no longer a computer repair store, he's closed it down, but he said he's a lot of old boards and old laptops and computers in his shed, and I'm welcome to them. So hopefully we'll have some nice stuff coming there, and it'll help with my gold recovery videos, and hopefully we'll get a nice bit of gold this year. So guys, till next video, thanks for watching and thanks for taking the time.